Hey, everybody. It's me, Kimber. Whew, long time no see. I've been here, a lot of changes. This is kind of like the backyard horse enthusiast with Kimber, who's still single. It's just not sudden. I'm still on my own and loving it, I might add. So what's been going on? So in May of 2022, if you don't already know this, to my millions of subscribers, kidding. I have less than 100, but that's okay. Right. I kind of like doing this because then I have my own timeline. Sorry, checking out my hair. It's hard. It's hard being 60 years old and like trying to not look like you're trying to look younger than what you are. All right, whatever. But anyway, so back in May of 2022, I was in Colorado for a couple of weeks, and that's when my partner told me that he was moving to Montana, but he was only going there for like 5 months to take a part-time chef job on a ranch. The ranch is owned by Home Depot. Um, Then about a week into it, he decided he was staying. So I think that was just his out, right? So he did. I did not know when I got on that flight heading to Colorado for my equine gestalt training that when I got back 3 days later, he would be gone. And just left me on a property, a farm, a home to take care of financially and physically, 4 horses, chickens, a pig, a dog, work, I'm self-employed, so work my job and go to school. And within weeks, he was like done helping financially. He said he couldn't afford it. His car needed work, whatever. So that's what happened to me then. Had the property appraised, got an agreement verbal from the landlord, who then, that was in September. So there comes September, right? And I'm doing it all myself. I'm doing it, getting it all done. I'm working my cleaning and concierge service, cleaning like 3 houses a day so I can afford to pay my $1,800 rent, all my utilities, keep the property maintained, take care of 4 horses. These horses did not get neglected in any way, shape, or form. So, and continue with school and paying my tuition, right? I thought, for a moment or two that maybe I would drop out, and then I was like, no, 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 I'm not jumping off the path I've been on. I started the equine gestalt coaching method program back in January of 2020. So right when the pandemic hit, right? We lost our big farm in Scotland, our 15 acres, our home. We were forced to sell it because my ex's ex uh, had him sign off that he would not allow me to purchase it, even though I had the financing to do so. So then, right in the middle of a pandemic, I mean, in the throes of right as the lockdown started, we had to find a new home and a place where we could bring all our animals. So that was fun, right? Out of work. I was out of work for 3 months, self-employed. Carl, thankfully, was getting unemployment because, he was laid off for a bit from the restaurant. And so that was a big thing, right? And making all those adjustments, starting school, staying in school. Um, and so, anyways, yeah. So in September of 2022, got the place appraised, landlord agreed on it. And then came November, the end of November 2022, when the landlord and his wife came over and said that they couldn't sell me the property because they needed it for their daughter and son-in-law and grandchildren. He has a tree business. Um, so there went that, right? So my horses were rehomed, sold and rehomed and all of that. Now I was suddenly not only single and solo, but I lost my horses. And that was a huge adjustment. Oh, I'm tearing up. I apologize. Um, I was scared. It was when my daughters decided that with their onset of anxiety and depression, that I was the bad guy and I caused all their problems, and so they abandoned me as well. So I went through December and January and most of February alone, really alone, for the first time without my horses. Was very dark, very scary, but I did a lot of processing during those months. I mean, really depressed. And I'm a certified suicide interventionist, and yet I was toying with the idea of, why am I here? Why go on? Like, I don't see it. But then I surrendered completely to God and said, I'm just leaving this up to you. I don't think I can make a good decision for myself at this point, because I haven't made the best ones, especially in regard to relationships. I haven't made the best ones yet. So, but through that processing, it became a journey of self-love, trust in divine, surrendering to divine, getting quiet with myself and my feelings, and understanding, no, I was brought on this journey from birth to where I am now by God. And then the miracles started to manifest. Uh, Found myself with a beautiful, tinier home to live, much tinier, 1,800 down to like 400 square feet, something like that. I haven't even really measured. It's tiny, which was always something that intrigued me. So I wasn't sad, but I had a lot of work to get done, right? So I made it my point, even though my landlord gave me until July of 2023 to vacate the property, I wanted to be out by April 1st. So that meant that I sold a lot of stuff. I donated thousands and thousands of dollars worth of farm, horse, chicken. Like, I had so much stuff, and my a lot of my home goods got sold or donated. Um, it felt good and sad at the same time. It's a real melancholy kind of feeling, like, oh, I'm unburdened, but there goes all these things, right? That you spent years, some of these things you really thought you wanted and needed, and or even like my big farm table, 9-foot farm table with the benches and beautiful end chairs, like selling that for way less than what I paid for it. It wasn't that old. And I had never bought myself a brand new big dining room table that many people could sit at and dine with us, which I'm grateful for the memories, because many did. And I have good memories of that. But I let a lot of things go, realized that I could not be attached to the material things or the material world, and that I was finally going to embark on this tiny space living, which was a challenge, but freeing at the same time. And I'm out by the shore. So, meaning I can go to uh, the shore and sit on a public, well, it's a public private beach, meaning it's our town beach. And I did a lot. Even if it meant that I was only there for an hour, it was nice that I was 10 minutes away and could do it. Turn my bicycle into a commuter bike. So that's been fun. Pardon me. I just ate breakfast because I have to do an interview in a little while. I don't know about this hair. Sorry, guys. I'm looking at it and I'm like, Um, so then I went back to Colorado in May, finished my last core and took my final. I did not pass my final. It was just by a couple little things that Melissa wanted to make sure that they were shored up, that I really knew my stuff. So I did a little more studying, and a few weeks later had a one-on-one with Melissa over Zoom, where she then quizzed me, tested me on these items. And I will say this, I am so grateful that Melissa from Touched by a Horse and the Equine Gestalt coaching method doesn't just push you through. Just because you can pay the tuition doesn't mean you're getting the certification. This is the most comprehensive coaching certification program on the planet. And there's a reason for it. You don't just get accepted into the program because you sign up and you pay the tuition. Nope. There's an application process, testing, and an interview. And if you're lucky, then you're brought in to the program. 24 months for certification. Took me a little longer because of COVID, because of different things moving. I did take a couple hiatuses, but was welcomed back with open arms, picked right up where I left off, and finished. And so after that Zoom call in June 2023 with Melissa, I was congratulated and received my certificate of completion and that I passed. Now it's even longer, but it was an 8-hour final exam. Jumped right into coaching, love it. The success from it, meaning, for me personally, knowing that I am helping people facilitate their healing is phenomenal. I have not done any of it as yet with my horse, and that'll bring us to another uh, uh, tidbit of information about what transpired recently. So, because now I have no horses, but I'm like, that's okay. I can coach, I can Zoom, I can do in person. I don't necessarily have to equine it, but I'd like to. I figured that would manifest on its own. Okay, so now we get to September 2023 and it's summit time, summit and graduation. There's like 25 of us grads that are going to walk the stage, receive our diploma. And then, be set free. And so it's a 4-day celebration. I was staying on the ranch, little bit north ranch in Elizabeth, Colorado, in a yurt. She has 3 yurts, and you can fit about 4 to 6 people per yurt. So, anyways, I'm in my yurt. I decided not to bring my cowboy boots, my Ariats, which I usually do. I decided I was just gonna dress in civvies, so to speak. Like I didn't feel like a horseman anymore, even though I've been one since I was 4 years old. But I'm like, no, that's kind of a farce. You don't have a horse anymore. So what are you? I don't know. I'm a coach. I'm a gestaltist. Okay, that's good. And then I get to Summit before the day of graduation, the day of, we broke for lunch and I went out to my yurt to check my phone. And I picked it up, and service out there is very sketchy, but I happened to have service. And there was a text message from a young lady who I adore. She's like a daughter to me, but she had purchased my Missouri Foxtrotter, Dakota. And this was a horse that twice before I had attempted to move him on because I felt like I had too many horses, right? And he was just that horse that would always have a job because he loves it. He's a great horse. You could put a 2-year-old on him or an 80-year-old. Like, he's going to take care of you. He's such a great man, sweet, no vices. And he kept coming back to me. And in fact, at a spirit reading on the ranch 2 years prior, right after he had come back, Melissa did a reading on him. She didn't know whose horse it was. She only had a picture of his face and his eye. And she chuckled and said, I don't know whose horse this is, but he said he doesn't care where he has to live or what he's living in, a shack, just a pasture, a lean-to. He doesn't care. He never wants to be separated from you again. Now that's really strange, right? So again, don't mind me. I'm really getting with this hair. So I'm like, holy crap, that's my horse, right? Who came back to me twice. And so the day of graduation, I checked my phone and my friend sent me a text and said, now, mind you, she purchased him the year prior. And she said, I don't have time for him. Now that I've taken this new position and my commute is over 3 hours a day, I have had no time for him. Purchasing him fulfilled a childhood dream of mine, which was to own a horse, but I am not doing him any justice and it's not fair to him. And he belongs with you. I am gifting him back to you. Mind you, before I got on that flight for summit and graduation, in my head, on that plane, I said to God, I don't know where I fit in all of this. I don't know if I'm ever going to coach with an equine partner or when it will happen or how it will happen, but I am surrendering to you and trusting you to make it however it should be. And then this happened. Wow. I just almost passed out when I got that text message. Just absolutely beautiful. And I had so many signs and so many manifestations while I was on that ranch for 5 days. Flew back home. I had a week to get everything set up and moved him to my friend's beautiful facility. And he's back in my life. And what's amazing is just how when you just let go and say, no, you know what, I trust in you, divine. I surrender to you. You love me fully. You'll take care of me. You know what's best for me, not me. And I know that because I've made so many very unwise choices in my life. Um, Here I am. And he's quite a distance away from me right now, but I do some work out in the same town where he resides for the time being. And I'm actively working on getting him out here where he'll probably be 5 to 10 minutes, depending on which facility he goes to. There's one that I'm on a waiting list for because it's perfect, like perfect for him. So, but in the meantime, he's getting great care. I have my dog Dami with me. I am still doing my cleaning because that butters the bread and I love it. It keeps me active. I do miss the physical aspects of having a decent sized property to care for. I was getting really fit and loving it. Um, but I'm just eagerly anticipating what else Divine's going to place in front of me for me to continue on my journey here. And I thank you all for coming along. I know it's been a long time since I've posted anything. Haven't quite been in the right headspace for it, but I can tell you since returning from Colorado in September and getting my Dakota back, I've had just new zest for life and for my mission on what I'm doing. And I love coaching. I'm actually coaching a colleague, a herd mate. She's a student from Ireland, and I'm so happy to be reconnected with her. I do have apps on Google Play and Apple you can purchase my digital content or you can book coaching sessions, Zoom coaching sessions or phone coaching sessions through my apps. And that's transformative pathways on Google Play and Apple app, transformative pathways. And I'll leave the links in my description box below. For those of you that have been following this journey, thank you. Don't forget to hit the like. I would really like to see this YouTube channel get bigger because eventually I just want to be here with my horse, coaching, loving life, and eventually just kind of stepping back from the cleaning part of my life, which I love. I am a little neurotic about housekeeping. And I have a corporate background and a business background, but cleaning for me has always been fulfilling in a way I can't even explain it. If I walk in a house and they've got two shedding dogs and I get to go in there and put my backpack vacuum on and chase hairballs, nobody's happier than me. It's crazy. Well, anyways, I just want to say thank you. I love you. God bless all of you. Jesus loves you and keep the faith, trust and surrender. Mwah. Happy holidays.